person talking about love, thine brother is the preacher. And it seems nobody's interested in learning but the teacher.
Take two.
Hey, ChalkTalkers, welcome to episode 5. Today we're going to be talking about nutrition, different dieting when you're lifting. Unfortunately, though, Jaron decided to crop dust the shit out of our studio.
Yeah.
So we are sitting outside today. These two are on the nice casting couch. They'll be doing a different video as soon as we're done. Stay tuned for that one. That'll be interesting.
You always wanted to lift weights?
Could you teach me? I really don't know what I'm doing.
All right, so one of the things we want to talk
That was
about,
better than the last one.
some movies. So recently I saw the movie Unbroken, and totally blown away by the movie. It was a phenomenal movie. If you haven't seen it, you definitely have to go see it. One of the things about the
Is it still
movie...
in the theater?
No, it's out.
I have it on DVD if you want to borrow it.
I'll borrow it. I haven't seen it yet.
It's a long movie. It's like a 2.5 hour long movie, but it gives you a totally different perspective of some of the shit people went through. And
Does that remind me, what's this one about? This is the guy that got captured.
yeah, basically he is on a rescue mission, flying over the ocean looking for an airplane that possibly went down.
Spoilers.
And his plane breaks down. They land in the ocean, and they basically spend 40 some odd days in the ocean in a raft.
48 days or something.
And you know, they talk about the will to survive. You know, during the movie, the guy said, you know, hey, that one guy survived in the ocean 21 days and then was found, but he went crazy. He completely went mental. And these guys did double that and made it. And it was just a phenomenal story. So then they were captured by the Japanese and put in a POW camp and basically were tortured for, I believe, 5 or 6 years.
Yes.
And every day they got tortured, and it's just insane the amount of stuff this guy went through.
Well, now I feel like I don't need to see it. I just saw it already. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, so Jared, how many days is C before you just say, fuck it, I'm done, I give up?
We talked about this last time
You would
with
make
the
7
survivals. Like I said,
You would make
I would
7
last
minutes.
as long as whatever inhaler managed to stay in my pocket after the
Listen.
plane crashed.
No, you should ask me the answer to this. Because what you would do is masturbate, and then you would jump in the ocean and kill yourself. Like, it's over. I can't do this. It's too stressful, and you'd be done.
I can't handle it. No.
I feel fairly confident I can sit on a raft for at least a day, maybe 2.
Well, I
But
would.
then at that point, like, screw it.
My skin
I'm not gonna
wouldn't
wait
burn and
40
peel off
days.
as fast as all you white people.
That's true.
You have
However,
that going for you.
and I'm homeschooled, so I have poor social skills. I'm really good at being alone.
Well, you're screwed though if you fall out of the boat, right? Can't swim.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I was just guessing that you couldn't swim.
No, I can swim. I can tread water like a motherfucker. But
Hey, you want to be in a movie?
totally,
Damn it.
totally legit.
Casting Couch Part 2.
Scene 2.
All right, you can go back to class now.
All right, so what about
So,
Mad?
okay.
Let's talk about
So
Mad
no,
Max.
best part of this context. We are literally surrounded by a high school. High school. This is like a peninsula of shady warehouses surrounded by high school. And
So
I'm
we've been
sitting here
trying
on a
to give
couch.
people free
There's like
candy.
1,000 pounds worth of pervy looking dude sitting on a couch with a camera in front of the building in the parking lot.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
hi.
how's it going? This is every bit as strange as it looks.
Let's see. So I haven't seen Unbroken, but I went to the theater not too long ago. I saw the Avengers: Age of Ultron. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a really good movie. Super fun. Tons of characters in it. It's definitely like not a film per se. It's not going to win an Academy Award, but at the same time, for 2.5 hours, you get sucked into a comic book world, and I really enjoy it. That's a cool concept that they do. It's a lot of fun. You know, I paid the extra money, saw it in 3D, IMAX, and all that kind of stuff, which I usually don't do because I like to, kind of ban the 3D stuff. I hate that. Yeah, like I don't want to pay for the 3D. I don't need that as much, but it definitely helps in the Avengers just because it makes it more fun.
He like made a hipster comment about superhero movies.
What?
I don't like him in 3D with your technology.
I'm just saying, no.
After I ride my fixed wheel.
Look, I just don't. Terminator 2 was a great movie. Terminator 2 was not in 3D. I don't need 3D. Like,
No,
do
I don't like
better.
it. It gives me a headache.
If you use that to like make a better movie, then you
Well,
made
and I mean,
a bad
it's a
movie.
thing of, I think that 3D is great if it's used as a a furtheration of a storytelling thing, but it's not the thing that should drive the story. It shouldn't be, look at me, I'm pointing at the camera now, the figure's coming through the screen. You know, it's like...
We should shoot our podcast in 3D.
That would be awesome.
That would be
But
great.
I mean, it's a thing of, like, I think it's a great tool to kind of make you more enveloped in the story, but it's not something that should drive the story.
Sure.
On a side note, I just realized this. You know, for many years now, I've been driving around and I see people with bumper stickers on their car that say like 13.1 and 26.2.
Yeah.
Like, I seriously thought that was sexual
Is that-
experiences. I just found out
Is that running?
it
Like
means something
yeah.
completely
half
different.
marathon?
Right.
Yeah.
I just thought, I don't know, I just figured it out.
I would drive by and be like, slut. Keep going. Now it all makes sense.
Hold on. How would you get to a .1?
Well,
Well,
yeah. That's halfway to first base.
Oh, okay.
that's a...
You like rub their feet just a
Yeah.
little bit, and then
Yeah.
get to the .1.
That's a sex message.
So speaking of rubbing one out and sexual experiences, I watched, what did I watch? 50 Shades of Grey
Oh
my
my god.
Hold on.
with my wife.
Well, okay, guys, I
Right.
quit.
I'm out.
Who
So you
picked
want
it
to
out,
talk
though?
about that? No, she did.
We had a video night. We watched Magic Mike.
So that was interesting.
Okay.
Did you learn some good moves, or?
More importantly, let's get to the nitty gritty of this. Did you guys reenact 50 Shades of Grey afterwards? or
I
did
don't
you just
have
go
the
to
hardware
bed?
for that. Like this guy has like an entire room of shit to tie you to, and my house is just not outfitted.
Well, and I think the thing that's funniest about like that whole movie is it's like, because this guy is like so wealthy and everything, it's like, oh, it's so like bad, and it's so
he wants to
so.
tie you up and
But
beat
it's
you and
like
abuse you.
if it was like dude who just lived in a trailer park, it would be like, it'd be like a completely different
So
movie.
these chicks that go to a club and hook up with a guy that works at Chevron can't expect this.
Well, they can, but when they get tied up, they probably won't respond to it the same way.
Right, right.
It's like, hey, I'm just gonna tie you up and abuse you emotionally, and then you can't look at me. Don't sleep with me. I was like,
Sign this contract.
oh my god, that's a thing. You know what's kind of funny is like that's apparently that turns people on now, and pole dancing is exercise.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's pole dance
Do you have
cardio.
a poll here at Savage?
I do. It's upstairs in the podcast studio.
Nice, so I can get a workout in when we're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, we got to just tone up
Well,
for
once
summer.
it's aired out from.
Well, yeah.
All right, enough of this. Let's get started. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about dieting and some different types of dieting.
And we figured 1,000 pounds worth of fat dude on a couch would be a great way to talk about nutrition.
Yeah.
Seems right.
So I want to kind of talk a little bit about my personal experience because I have a unique story. For the longest time, you know, I was about 286. I fluctuated from about 280 to 290 pretty regularly. Kind of the mentality for me was, you know, I got to be a certain weight to get stronger, and you know, I'm not really worried about how much I weigh. I'm more worried about my numbers. And it all kind of took a full circle for me when I realized that I could be 220 pounds and bench more than I ever did at 290 pounds. And so I started looking into some different types of dieting because I wanted to lean out. And this all kind of started because a certain individual said I couldn't do it. And, you know, you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to fucking prove your ass wrong.
Bitch,
So-
$10 you can't give me a hand job. Me and Jeff were talking about it. We're like, he's not strong enough
Yeah, there's no way.
All right.
He doesn't have the grip strength.
I'll show you guys.
because he doesn't deadlift.
Right.
So I started experimenting with carb backloading. I originally started off doing the carb night, which essentially is going extremely low carb to almost no carb for 6 days a week. And then on the 7th day, you have 2 meals that are basically cheat meals, where you try to consume as much carbs and bad food as possible. That didn't work out very well for me because
Really good at eating bad food.
yeah,
like I am.
well, it kind of felt like, so my cheat day was always on Sunday because I benched on Monday. So I would eat shitty on Sunday, I'd feel good Monday. By Tuesday, I'm craving carbs. Wednesday, I'm really craving carbs and I'm hating life. Thursday comes around, I'm starting to feel good and I'm okay with it. Friday, Saturday are walk in the park. But then Sunday, I'm introducing carbs again. And it was just a cycle of feeling like shit. So then I moved over to carb backloading, which is essentially eating carbs post-training. And that was kind of beneficial both ways. One, it made me want to train more because I wanted to eat more carbs. But then also, it kind of gave me something to look forward to. The way that I really implemented it for me was based on how hard I trained, how hard I brought it to the gym would give me the flexibility on eating like crap. So if I got into the gym and I was tired and I didn't really feel like training, my motivation was when I'm done, I can eat, 24 cookies or an entire pie if I really bring it. So over a period of like 7 months, I went from, 286 down to 220 and sat like between 220 and 224 easily.
What?
Whoa, don't look at me. Look forward.
Am I the only one who didn't get sunglasses?
Yeah.
God damn it, I didn't know you grabbed yours.
Apparently we're
That's
working on our
what I did
suntan.
mine.
All right.
In the shit.
Do you have another pair of white ones in your WRX?
Actually, I do. Actually, I have a couple pairs of aviators too. So
Oh, snap.
So, what kind of diets have you guys tried that have either worked or not worked, or that might be different from backloading or
Well,
carb diet?
like I tried the carb backloading, and for me personally, I'm not a big fan of sugar anyway, or a lot of like those easy carbs and stuff. That's just a thing of I just don't really care for it. I really don't like candy very much or any of that stuff, and to a point, I really just don't like eating anyway. But for me, I tried the carb backloading and stuff.
Shaped like a dick, you eat it.
Well, that's true, of course. But, for me personally, I tried the carb backloading and just trying to, in a sense, force feed myself, like, all these carbs and everything. I just couldn't do it. I was vegetarian for a while. I did that. And I felt fine as a vegetarian. It just became the thing of I felt that I could be stronger eating more protein. And I also had the similar thing as Adrian, in that for a while was the whole mentality of the bigger I am, the more I can lift. So, I started out originally kind of in my sports journey. Originally, I was an MMA fighter. So I would walk around at like 215, 210. And then I would fight at, 205. And then I got injured outside of fighting, skateboarding and being an idiot. So then I just got fat because I kept eating the same as if I'm training, 6 hours a day, but I'm not training at all. And so then what I started doing is that once I got fat, I was like, well, I could do a bunch of cardio and lean out, or I could just get stronger. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I'm just going to get stronger. So then I just started working on lifting and trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I had this whole mentality of the bigger I am, the more weight I can lift. So, when I competed at 308, I hit 1945 total. And then like a few months after that, I got up to 320. And I added 5 pounds to my total. And I was like, so I'm not getting any stronger.
Yeah.
But now I run out of breath walking up the stairs.
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, I didn't see as much of a benefit of it. So then I just started like increasing my cardio, increasing my cardiovascular ability. And considering that I'm mostly, I focus mainly on strongman, it's like I need that cardio ability a lot more. So now what I more do is just eat a lot cleaner, so to speak. I do that thing of walk around the outside of the store and buy my food on the outside and, try not to get on the inside. So I try to get all the, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, fresh meats, and just spend a lot of time cooking and focus a lot more on just eating real food. In a sense, kind of being like paleo without being like paleo. Because if I want to go eat McDonald's, I'm going to go eat a fucking burger at McDonald's. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But I'm just not going to eat that every single day. And it's a thing of, depending on how much work I've put in, if, kind of like you're saying, Adrian, like, if I've busted my ass and it's like, oh shit, I forgot to pack my 6 pounds of hamburger today, well, I'll just go ahead and go have a burger at McDonald's because I'm on the run or something like that. But, and it's kind of that thing of, I think anything's okay in moderation. And it has to do with what your goals are and stuff. And so for me, I eat, clean, if you want to call it that, eat like all fresh, real foods. And then on occasions be like, okay, I'm going to go have a burger today, or I'm going to go to Sherry's and get some shit there.
Yeah.
That was one thing I noticed, like, when I first became vegetarian, I lost a bunch of weight. But in doing it, what it made me do was, I lived out in Sandy at the time, and being a vegetarian in Sandy was a very weird thing. I got weird looks all the time. So it forced me to have to cook my own meals. And I think that was...
Sandy?
What's that?
Don't like Sandy?
It's not that I don't like Sandy. I enjoyed living out there, but there's a bunch of rednecks and hicks, and so redneck and hicks don't really appreciate vegetarians. So it was big on like you said, getting the fresh vegetables, the fresh fruit. Those were a big thing for me in the cooking, and in cooking, I got to learn what was in the things that I had been eating before. So if I went out and I made myself a nacho or whatever it might be, I knew what was going in there. which makes it a lot better if you're able to know, you have the knowledge that you know what you're putting in. The vegetables are all fresh, or I picked out whole wheat chips, or all the different things that you can use.
So, what about like a bodybuilding diet? Have you tried
Yeah.
a bodybuilding diet?
That was my gateway into nutrition, because I got started in training and nutrition from wanting to lose weight. I started out around 250, and I was like, well, shit, man, I'm fat. And I lied my way into a job at 24. They're like, oh, you work out? Yeah, I work out at home all the time. Got weights and curls, and I run. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. I was just working sales there. And I worked at the one right down the street here. And I kind of one day I was like, you know what? I'm kind of tired of being fat, so I want to look like those guys. I'm going to do what they do.
You really
And so,
shouldn't point to those high school girls when you do that one.
this is a figurative. They don't know I told them there's a high school. I guess that's wrong. I want to be like these imaginary guys.
Right.
And so my gateway into nutrition was a bodybuilding type diet. I cut from 250. I competed at 176. That took about 10 months. I started off doing just the chicken breast, brown rice, sweet potato thing. Had no fats at all for a long time. Was doing 2 to 3 hours of cardio for a long time. And by the time I actually finished my prep, I was living off of spinach salads with balsamic vinegar and like 8 almonds and chicken breast. It was horrible. I fell asleep. So around the same time, I had started training people at the gym there, and I was one day being coached at work, and I fell asleep in my chair while they were trying to teach me how to train people. And she's like, just Jaron. I was like, oh shit, I'm good. I just haven't had a carb in 5 months. So I did that. I then decided I wanted to kind of move up a weight class and go light heavy, and so I stayed with pretty much the same foods: chicken breast, sweet potato, and broccoli, and got back up to like 220, 230. And then I was cutting back down for another prep, and I spent another close to a year eating oats as my only carb source. So it was chicken breast, and it was oats, and sometimes sweet potatoes, but I had eaten so many sweet potatoes I got burnt out on those.
Trying to do a figure competition?
Basically. It was retarded. I'm not proud of it.
Bikini competition.
So my first probably 3 years of nutrition were all horrible, unbalanced bodybuilding type diets that, tilapia and chicken breasts are your only 2 proteins, or egg whites, and sweet potatoes are your only good potatoes to eat. All the other ones are horrible. And then oats on occasion, and then after that just I went kind of crazy, and go figure, right? And so I kind of moved away from that side of things, and started really experimenting with some of like the carb cycling type diets. And around that time, a lot of the cyclical ketogenic, like the carb night, became popular. So I was doing that with kind of a paleo twist for probably a good year and a half. I did the low to no carbs during the week, and then a carb up on weekends, and that worked really well. I was probably my leanest 2 years ago doing that type of approach, but my strength suffered from that, from not having the carbs. And I tend to do pretty well on lowish carb diets anyways, because I'm fatter and I don't really crave sweets. I'm like you. I like fatty, savory, salty. So if you can tell me I can still eat beef and bacon every once in a while.
Weird. You like something that's salty.
And fat.
Savory.
Savory.
Oh, man.
So I've kind of done every kind of diet structure, from carb cycling to a bodybuilding diet to low carb, no carb, to intermittent fasting, to like warrior diet, which is 1 meal a day. Like, I've done all of those different things, and my approach is now a lot more kind of in the middle, with like being reasonable and having balance, but still kind of controlling for the things that I need to be able to perform well.
So what would be like, Jeremy, a typical day then for you in eating? As somebody, like, now that we've been doing this podcast, right, I don't want to be the fat schlub sitting in the back, so I'm trying to change up what I'm eating, trying to get a little better. What do you say? What would be a typical day for you in your kind of, you're in the middle mix?
Yeah, so for me now, I've been doing this long enough that I can pretty much measure and eyeball things without it. It doesn't feel like it's any incrimination on my life. So like a general day for me, or the rules that I follow, is on a day where I train, like a squat or a deadlift, I'm going to eat more carbs and more calories. On a day that I squat or I train bench or like an overhead press type movement or a bench accessory, I'm going to eat a moderate amount of carbs. On days where I don't train or I'm doing condition work, I eat low-ish carbs. I probably don't dip that below 50 to 100 grams, but I do end on the side of lower carb, higher fat on those days. I'm also trying to drop some body fat right now too. So my goal is to provide enough food and carbs to sustain the training that I'm doing, because I'm trying to keep my volume up with my work that I'm doing, but also kind of control for the calories to let me actually drop some weight. So that's kind of that. I try to push the majority of the carbs around training. So I may do, depending on the day, 50 to 100 grams before, in a meal before training. If it's a squat or a deadlift day, I'll also take in some carbs in the form of Gatorade during training. And then I'll do most of my carbs in the meal right after. And then I go lowish on the other meals.
I think your Gatorade's a good point, though, that I think that to be addressed is that I think a big thing that people forget to do in their dieting, and when they're thinking about, I'm going to count calories, I'm going to look at what I'm doing, they forget the fact that, hey, guess what? Drinks have calories.
Mm-hmm.
There's calories in drinks, you know. So you can be like, hey, I'm going no carb, and then it's like, oh, I've just drank like 12 Gatorades today.
Yeah.
Well, you're not really going no carb because you just drank a ton of Gatorade. Or I'm going to go drink like 6 beers tonight. Well, you're still not no carb.
Well, another part of that, you know, some of the stuff that I figured out with doing like the carb backloading, there was a spot in while I was carb backloading that I stopped losing weight. And I was kind of stagnant, and it didn't make sense to me. I was still eating the way that I was supposed to. I wasn't cheating in any way, but the one thing I added was sweetener in my coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
Now, even though this was, you know, low calorie, sugar free, no carb sweetener, basically what that did is when I drank it, my body was expecting to get sugar, and it didn't, so it still spiked my insulin. That's what screwed up my fat loss during my peak fat losing time, was in the morning while I was fasting. So trying to come up with those kinds of things, I was figuring it out as I went. You know, I wasn't the brightest guy. I didn't read the whole book. I just kind of skimmed it. And so, you know, for me, I was kind of figuring that kind of stuff out. But those are types of things you need to look for, you know. Just because it says, you know, sugar-free, fat-free, whatever, it's still going to spike your insulin. Your body's still going to expect to get that sugar. And when it doesn't, you know, a lot of things can change in your body.
Well, I think especially for, and this has kind of changed a lot in the last probably year, but I think especially in like strength sports, there historically has not been as much of a priority on nutrition. It's like, get fat, be strong.
Right.
And a lot of that's carryover from,
weight.
from geared lifting, because the fatter you are, the tighter your gear fits, the more you lift. But for raw lifters, you really need to think about maximizing your weight class. And as a raw lifter, the more muscle you can carry at a given weight, the stronger you're going to be. So what you're seeing now is a lot more people are starting to pay attention to their nutrition, and noticing that, you know, not eating garbage actually helps you perform better calorie for calorie.
And that was the thing that I started thinking about myself when I started getting a little bit more serious about competing and stuff like that was, you know, even though I was just eating like crap and just like, I'm going to lift weights and I'm going to get stronger, I'll get bigger.
Yeah.
The bigger I am, the stronger I am, right? I started realizing that I'm basically doing like, trying to live like a professional athlete's life. You need to think about your dieting and stuff as a professional athlete, not like, well, I went to the gym and I beast mode.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go out.
Time for cookies.
Right. I'm going to go out and eat, you know, four meals at McDonald's now because I just
gains.
did
Hashtag gains.
Yeah, hashtag gains.
Well, you know, and I think for me, you know, you kind of want to look like you lift, right? Like, I know for me, I got a big upper body. People look at my shoulders and they could pretty easily go, okay, yeah, this guy lifts weights. But I don't want to be that guy that's super fat who flexes his tricep backwards because that's the only muscle that shows if he hits it the right way, and says, I'm the strongest bencher in the world, you know? That just doesn't make sense. I want to look like I lift. I want to look like I take care of my body, and I'm, you know, and I'm using it as a machine versus, I'm just going to kind of do whatever I want. You know, I can't tell you how many pictures I see of these lifters that are just fat fucks, but, you know, they, oh, hey, I bench 600 pounds, or I bench 400 pounds, or squat, you know, 600 pounds, whatever. But if you don't really look like you lift, I mean, how is that really what we want to represent?
No.
I mean, you got.
and that's been the stigma that's kept people from wanting to get interested in powerlifting in the past.
Yeah.
Like I said it myself. That's why I went into bodybuilding. I was like, those guys look like shit. I
Yeah.
already look like shit. I don't want to continue to look like shit. So I'm not gonna. I have no interest in anything they're saying.
Drink
And that-
Viso.
Drink Viso. But the funny thing is that came full circle because you can also chase aesthetics without actually ever being healthy. And like that, one of the main drivers for me getting into like actual strength training was, I had bulked and cut and bulked and cut and bulked and cut and got back up to 250 just carrying it a lot better. But, I was getting winded tying my shoes, or I'd have to take breaks walking up and down
Right.
stairs. Or people are like, oh, well, how much do you lift? And it's nothing that impressive. And like even less so than now. But being able to actually be a high functioning like human who can perform and do things that are semi exceptional is important too.
Oh, there you go, tough guy. Wow.
This guy
He's
just
cool.
like
Big
gunned
truck.
it down the parking lot in his
Wow.
87 Ranger,
S10.
whatever. So yeah, but like also looking at strength as a function of health too, and really trying to take care of your body and make it be able to perform for a long time. Nutrition is going to be the thing that drives that.
Well, my body's a temple, and I want to.
Well, the
You have a
great-
tattoo, so
The great Mark
Would you
Wahlberg
agree?
said it too. Like, you gotta look good to feel good, right? Look good, feel good. Look good, feel good. If you're, eating right and you're getting to a spot to where you're like, that you look good. We've all had those times where we look in the mirror. and-
yeah.
I mean, maybe not Jaron, but I've had those times looking, damn, I look good today.
Sorry, I
You know,
just got distracted by his
Sorry.
biceps.
Can't spell watermelon, but I look good.
WATERMELON, watermelon.
Well, here's something I think is overlooked a lot, and it's something I overlooked, and this is the only reason why I bring it up, is an exit strategy. So I did the carb backloading, and I basically maintained my body weight at 220 pounds. And after I broke the all-time record, I said, I'm going to kind of take a break from the gym. I'm going to take a break from dieting, because I basically spent the last 18 months living in a gym and dieting. So I take approximately 60 days off from my diet, and I completely fell off the wagon. I reintroduced alcohol, so I was drinking beer, a couple times a week. I was eating crappy all the time, just kind of giving myself that, okay, we can relax a little bit.
Yeah.
What ended up happening was when I decided to start backloading again or trying to get on a typical cleaned up diet, it didn't work for me. I fell the fuck off the wagon several times because I was so used to eating like shit for 60 days.
Yeah.
I didn't have that mindset going in after breaking the all-time record that, hey, I'm going to go to this day, and on this day I'm going to slowly start depleting my carbs again and get on a clean diet, and this is how this is going to work. I fell off the wagon, then I tried jumping back on it, and then that fucking wagon drugged the shit out of me. So as far as coming up with an exit strategy, if I were to do this again, part of my plan would be is to give myself an amount of carbs or maybe an amount of meals I could eat that are going to be shitty until I need to start cleaning it up and almost do like a countdown, like I got 9 more meals that can be shitty and I got to clean it up. That way you're kind of mentally preparing yourself because, that's a really big deal. That's really tough to eat whatever you want and then try to clean it up right away.
Right.
Well, and that's where like when I put together nutrition plans for people, like I look at it as a hierarchy of what we need to focus on and what's going to give you the most bang for your buck as far as your attention. And hands down, regardless, is going to be your total calories. Is that the only thing that's important? No. But if we at least know kind of what calorie range we need to stay in, then a lot of that gives a little bit of wiggle room for having that flexibility to where you can have some balance and, in your off season of dieting, not go to complete shit by doing whatever. Because I'm very much an all or nothing personality. And so I did fine, cutting carbs out for a year and a half and got real lean. And then afterwards I was like, oh my God, I ran out of self-control and then went crazy for a year. And that cycle is not something that's sustainable for you. And it's not going to lead to she got creeped the fuck out.
Want to be in a video?
But like that's not going to lead to you long term having the best performance. And so like what I recommend is like let's figure out what that calorie budget is for you. Let's figure out, what numbers we need to hit as far as your proteins, carbs, and fats, or at least the protein. And that way, when you're trying to pay a little less attention to it, we at least are controlling for our total calories, and we're controlling for getting enough protein to sustain our training. That gives you some wiggle room between carbs and fats to let you still have some fun, or like if you want to have a beer or two, you know what I mean? Just factor that into those remaining calories that you have, And, you know, is it going to be optimal? No. But in times where it doesn't matter as much, that still lets you not go to complete sack of shit. You know what I mean? And you get that flexibility because you've got that calorie window to kind of play with and do what you want.
Yeah.
And that's what I use more in the off-season type times.
The off season.
Off-season.
Yeah. I don't know. You guys see on Facebook they have a lot of those fad diets. You know, there's always some group coming up. Oh, eat this way and post your meals on there every day, and you earn points or whatever.
Hashtag meal prep, hashtag FitFam, hashtag working it, hashtag not quite there, hashtag but I'm on my way.
Hashtag struggle is real.
Hashtag paleo, hashtag IG paleo.
So hashtag are
Hashtag
any of these
paleo
really
life.
worth it? I mean, you guys know more about this stuff. You know what it does, what it takes your body to get going. Are these worth it? Are these something that
Does
know,
it
over
smell like
time-
pizza out here,
Yeah, it
or is
does.
it just me?
So
Oh my god.
Sorry.
All right,
to
I
get
gotta
back
go.
on topic here before this
Sorry.
fat fuck interrupts us again. Here's the thing I think with some of that stuff is holding people accountable. And some people need that like handheld, hey, this is what you're going to eat today.
Yeah.
These are the calories
Yeah.
you're going to have, and this is what you're going to do. And it helps them. It's like that's why Weight Watchers and like Nutrisystem is so effective, is because people sign up for that, they pay for it or whatever, and then they're held accountable for everything. And so
Yeah.
they want to maximize those results. Those are why those work. For the people that don't need those things, they can say, hey, you know what? I'm going to clean my diet up. So that means I'm not going to eat at Burger King. I'm not going to eat candy. I'm not going to eat sweets and cookies. You know, they don't need those types of programs then to cut weight. But I think all of those fad diets, you know, all of those things that people say they do on, you know, Facebook or Instagram
Right.
or whatever, they all work only because of the accountability portion.
Yeah. Well, anything's going to work if you actually are consistent with it. Like, and that goes back to all of the different things that I've had. Like, I've had success with a bodybuilding diet. I've had success with low carbs, with no carbs, with carb cycling, with eating 10 times a day, with eating 1 time a day. It all works because of those base things that are happening, but it really just is going to come down to what actually you're going to stick with and be consistent.
And what works for your lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have, you know, sure, meal prep and all that stuff works great, but if you've got, you know, 7 kids,
Yeah.
and you've got to like take care of your kids, and you've got to
You
do
need to
this,
go to
and
the
you've
store
got to
and
do
buy
that.
condoms.
This is what I was going to talk to you guys about because, you know, Josh has a baby, but it's not at a spot yet where he's making dinner for the baby.
Right.
Having kids changes everything, right? So last night, for an example, kids look at me, hey, Dad, I want to go to Taco Del Mar. It's like, oh, crap, you know, what am I going to
eat
have
another
there?
quesadilla with a
Yeah,
fork?
so yeah, exactly. So basically, you know, I'm looking at some options. I could basically have a taco salad, but I'm still going to get some carbs in.
Right.
I trained earlier in the day, so you know, 8 hours later or earlier I trained. I'm not particularly wanting to introduce carbs into my meal, but kids, this is what they want. They always eat really well when we go there, so I got to sacrifice and pony up and go.
Yeah.
Same thing is when we make stuff at the house, you know, kids will say, hey, you know, Dad, I feel like this, I feel like that, and it's not something I'm going to incorporate into my diet, so I have 2 choices. I either make a completely separate meal for myself, or I got to eat whatever they're eating.
Yeah.
And that that's a really difficult thing to balance.
Well, that's one thing too. Like both me and my wife have been, you know, trying to clean up our diet a little bit. We got bad. We got to the point where we were eating out, you know, 5 nights of the week.
Yeah.
Picking up something on the way home from work or whatever it is.
It's
And,
easy.
It's easy, yeah. And the struggle for us is we work, you know, really kind of different schedules. You know, she does these big long 12-hour shifts, gets home at like 8 o'clock. I don't get home till almost midnight every night. So you know, then at that point we can't eat dinner together. We can't really prepare on some of that. And that's one thing we're trying to work in is, you know, being able to,
Yeah.
you know, get things prepared. Like, you know, we were joking about, I think in episode 1 of you guys carrying around your own meals and all this other stuff. Well, we're starting to do that now.
Yeah.
You know, we got all of our Tupperware out and we're getting prepped. You know, we use my days off to cook and put stuff in the freezer and get it, you know, ahead of time. But it's hard when life comes around. You know, you want to be able to sit down and eat dinner with someone else. But you can't do that,
Well,
or
that's-
if you're at work, you know, I work next to a bunch of bars and greasy food,
Yeah.
and I see these people go and get there. My coworkers will go get some Thai food, and I'm sitting there with, you know, a shake that I made earlier, and then that's my meal for the
Right.
night. Is
Yeah.
this shake? It gets tough after a little bit.
And that's where that consistency is going to come in. And I mean, you're going to have to, that's why I'm saying, to me, I try to make my diets and my food and stuff based off of life. Because life happens. So I think the consistency as much as you can, like, okay, I'm going to prepare all my food, like, okay, it's Sunday, and I'm going to get all my food ready for the week. I'm going to cook all of my food,
Yeah.
put it all on Tupperware, have everything ready to go to prepare myself. Well, what if Sunday something happens and you can't cook that day?
Yeah.
Now what are you going to do?
Right.
I try to set it up so that even when that happens, if I have a bad week, I get back on the horse, so to speak, that next week. Like, I get back on it. Don't just be like, oh, I mean, it's the same with training, with any of that stuff. If life's gonna happen. You're gonna have those times.
And you can't let that be an excuse to let everything completely fall apart.
The cool thing is, in Josh's situation, you know, he's got a significant other that is trying to do the exact same thing as him. And how much easier does that make it in your guys' life? When your significant other's like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna taper up the dieting a little bit. I'm gonna help you out. These are the meals I'm gonna cook. I mean, for me personally, that makes life so much easier because I don't have to pick and choose what I'm gonna eat.
Yeah.
It's whatever's prepared is okay to eat. So having the teamwork that he's got going on is by far the most beneficial.
Well, and that's also the thing that's going to help you stay consistent. Is because it's like if you're doing it by yourself, like you were saying, I'm going to make a meal for myself, make a meal for the kids. Well, if everybody's on the same page, then it makes it that much easier because you got somebody else, that accountability thing, somebody else who's going to be there. Like, you know, you can come home and you can say whatever you want, but you know, you get home, your significant other, and they're going to be like, "Did you have Taco Bell today?" No, really. Really? You didn't have Taco Bell?
Really? Because the rapper's hiding under the seat of your car.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely got yelled at. Not yelled at. I got in trouble yesterday because I came home.
Let me see your eyebrow.
And I was like emptying out. I'm emptying out my pockets, and a Skittles wrapper comes down on the table. First one, where'd you get Skittles? Why are you eating Skittles? I was like, oh, I stopped at the gas station on the way home. No, you're not supposed to do that. Have I been eating Skittles? No. Kind of dug into me a little bit. And it's one of those where, like, I actually, like, it was a good thing that she did that. I felt bad. I shouldn't have done that. It made me, like, just regret eating those Skittles. And all the joy I got out of it was just sucked away super fast. And so it's like, now, like, I know I can't stop. Or if I do stop, I got to stop somewhere else and throw the wrapper away. And don't take that shit home. That's just dumb. But
Well, I mean, that's a rookie mistake.
Right.
You should do. I had. He's not gonna listen to this. I had a guy. I had a guy one time throw out it was like a KFC wrapper in the trash can at the gym, so that it wasn't at work or anywhere else. And I go in there to take a piss, and I'm looking at it. I'm sitting here. This is what I look like when I pee. And I'm peeing. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm looking around, just, you know, taking in the sights. And I was like, KFC, huh? Cool. Shake it off just twice, because 3 times you're playing with it. And I go out there. I was like, oh, interesting. See the name on there. I was like, you motherfucker.
Why are you digging through garbages, man?
It was right on the top.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, that's
So is
still
that
that
piece of
rookie
chicken.
mistake. Like, you know, the one I like to do is, you know, you get home and you, like, look in the mirror, make sure you got nothing, like, on your mouth. Like, okay, I threw everything away, like, at the grocery store or someplace. Like, on my way home, I stopped at the grocery store, threw everything away at the trash can there. That was not even near the door. It was, like, out, like, it's like I'm doing a drug deal thing or something.
Right, you're on
I'm out in the
sketchy.
corner, I'm like, throw that away. Okay, nobody saw me. Run back in the car, drive back
Snickers.
over. And then I get home and it's like, you know, okay, everything's good. I got nothing in my beard or anything.
Chewing gum to
I'm
get the
good.
taste of chocolate off his breath.
Walk in like, hey, how's it going? Stuck to my diet. Everything's good.
Yeah, so I think for me right now, in my training and with the experiences I've had with carb backloading, is I understand when my body needs carbs. So what's interesting for me is, you know, I'm introducing my carbs pre-workout and post-workout, very similar to what you're doing, Jared.
Yeah.
But even on nights where I feel like the next day I'm really going to bring it in the gym and I'm going to need a little bit of extra, I'll introduce some carbs the night before. I just won't
definitely
go
will,
crazy. And so basically, working my diet around how my body feels and then what I have going on that week. You know, if I'm doing a light bench day and I'm going to be kind of taking it easy, maybe I'm getting ready for a competition, it's not going to be much the same as if I was going to go like on a heavy bench day. I'm testing out openers and, you know, I'm really, you know, my diet's been good and now I'm going to throw in some carbs because I want to have one, you know, hell of a workout.
Yeah,
So-
I like to do that because I've been deadlifting on Saturday mornings before I was doing some other, like my main squat work and stuff. But what I find works really well is if I actually move my higher carb day to Friday night, because I don't really like to train on a really full stomach. I like to eat kind of lighter, and just sometimes I'll even just have a shake with some dextrose in the morning before I train. And I've found that if I get a good amount of salt and carbs in, really, UPS guy, this is going to get strange. So, he'll do deliveries here, but he's here for like 15 minutes. That'd be an awkward way to end this, just like looking him in the eyes the whole time. But yeah, I'll load up on salt and carbs the night before, and that tends to keep me really full, make me feel strong in the morning. And then I'll actually take Saturday as a lower, I'll eat a little bit lighter throughout the day, and then I'll cheat meal or date night or whatever.
I'll do that for competitions. Like if I'm doing a strongman show the next day, I'll upload on like a ton of steaks and like sweet potatoes and just a ton of like carbs and everything else to really just fill myself up the night before. And then when I wake up the day of the contest, you know, when I'm doing a contest, most of the time I won't even eat all day.
Yeah.
So I'll have like some BCAAs or something I'm going to sip on throughout the day. But on a normal kind of daily
you're not
basis,
waking up hungry.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have that energy to draw from to keep competing throughout the day. And then just keep that, you know, insulin spike and stuff like that throughout the day to keep that energy up. Eating like a little bit of simple sugars here or there. But I really try to overload with that healthy, slow digesting food the night before.
Yeah.
So when I wake up the next day, I wake up full. I don't have to eat a big breakfast. And then just kind of like, okay, I can go. Helps me carry through my day of contest.
Do you guys drink protein shakes at nighttime?
I
No.
generally do the casein or.
Like if you wake up in the middle of the night and...
No, I don't do that.
That make me pee and then I have to wake up again.
I'll do it before I go to bed. Like just drink one before I go to bed.
All
With about 3,000 grams of protein.
I know for me personally, like I feel like having sweets and stuff kind of like at nighttime, like right before bed is kind of my spot where, you know, eating shitty food is bad for me. And so typically I'll have like a protein shake before bed. And even sometimes if I'm really low carb that day and I know I'm going to be hungry, I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm starving. So I'll have a protein shake ready to go. And so I can just slam that and just kind of get that feeling of not being so empty and hungry.
Yeah.
I was just curious if any...
Well, I generally try to take in on a daily
My
basis.
biggest meal is that evening meal.
My biggest meal is my morning meal, and I try to get the majority of my calories in before like 3 o'clock, and then I just do my more fasted time through the evening. So I go to bed hungry,
Sure.
and then I wake up and it's just like I just I eat like a dozen eggs with a bunch of ham and all this stuff in it for breakfast, just to like, okay, I'm up, let's get it, and then I attack the day, and then it's like by the end of the day I'm like kind of winding down my calories and just like, okay, I'm gonna go pass out. And that's why I change it when I'm gonna do a contest. I'll try to eat a lot more because my body gets used to that, eating all that food in the morning. So I'll eat almost till I throw up, like to the point of like, oh, I'm feel like the night before a contest, and I'll just sit there trying to gag down food, just be like, I don't want to eat anymore, and just keep forcing it in. And then when I'm just about to like go into a food coma is when I just
on a couch.
right. And then right when I go to a food, right when I'm like going into a food coma, I'll just pass out and then just wake up in the morning and be like, okay, let's get it. And I wake up feeling more full and a lot more energy and stuff like that. And that way, I won't eat a bunch of food in the morning. But I find for myself, kind of thing like how your body adapts to things. So I try to mix it up. So I try to eat a lot more food in the mornings and then less in the evenings, except when I'm doing a contest. Then I'll eat more in the evening and less in the mornings.
So
have anybody tried the Mediterranean diet?
No.
Familiar with that at all?
Oh.
It's actually kind of interesting. I read up on it a little bit last night. Talks a little bit about how you're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and grains as a majority of your meals or a big portion of your meals. Fish would be then a second, and then your kind of fats and meats are a smaller portion of your diet. What do you guys think about that?
Well, no, that's kind of one of the things I was going to kind of touch on anyway. Like, for me, I generally, if I cut carbs out, I just add in the fats.
Yeah.
Like, I go heavy fats, low carb.
I do too.
And I think that, now that you talk about it, I had heard about the Mediterranean before. And it's...
Oh, so now you've heard about it.
Yeah, because you just told me.
You say this like...
So, yeah, I was doing a little bit of reading last night on the internet.
Reading by Braille.
Well, that's
So, since we're kind of running out of time here, what would be kind of your best recommendation for someone trying to really dial in their diet for, not just performance and strength, but also kind of maintaining a good, healthy body fat level?
In like 20 seconds.
Yeah, like the Cliff's Notes version of what you recommend.
Basically, I would introduce carbs before and after training only.
There you go.
Good.
Jeff, what about you?
High protein, low carb, high fat.
Jared?
Combo of both of those. Not necessarily high protein, shoot for about 1 gram per pound. Get adequate amounts of fat, but put it in the meals away from training. Get enough carbs to fuel your training, more on the days where you do more, less on the days where you do less.
Hey, do you know how to sew?
Do I know how to sew? No.
Oh, because these are ripped.
God, that's terrible.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I think that the nutrition is something that we're going to be able to talk about in a whole nother episode too. Because this is somewhere
We'll revisit
it's
this. I
big.
think
I think that, we all, especially with, God.
I can probably outflex your face with my forearm. Look at that. I covered his face with just my forearm.
I'm about to smack you in the face with my dick and make you cockeyed.
I don't really have a comeback to that.
Yeah, good. All right, so
You can wipe that one off your chin, though.
we're gonna move on here.
So how do we get a hold of? Oh no, we're doing the video, huh?
We're gonna look
All
at a
right.
video,
Oh.
but real quick too, I want to make sure everyone's knowing that go to ChalkTalk on Facebook, submit some questions. We've already gone over quite a few of the questions, but we need to get more. We want more. If you have things that you want to know or you want to hear about, let us know. Tell us.
If you want our opinion on anything, any topic, just
Yeah.
send it to us. Doesn't have to even be lifting related. You just want to know, anything at all, just ask.
If you want to know, how to get a nice man bun, you can always ask us about that.
Hashtag man bun. Hashtag dad bod.
Dude, dad bod's a thing. I have lucked out with this. Totally.
Lowered expectations.
Yes.
We need to-
Boating shoes and a belly, and I'm set. All right, let's watch you do some stupid shit.
All right, so today's fail video is me. This is from a few years back. This is not on my.
This is actually 2 Saturdays ago.
This is
2 years ago, apparently.
This is back when I was a bodybuilder, kind of,
sweet.
but too fat for that. So I was really just failing at everything. This is me doing a 585 box squat to a box that's 5 inches above parallel, and then I crash and get squat. That's to let you know how heavy I'm lifting.
You sound like that old woman.
Get it.
Hashtag
Get it.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's stuck. That's cool. Let me
You gotta
breathe.
want it. You gotta grab his titties and push him up.
Say, that guy is supporting you like a bra. He's lifting and separating.
Oh, get some.
Basically,
I went so ham on that workout.
yeah.
Man.
So you get the first one like shit, and then
Poorly,
the second
yeah.
one you didn't even get without assistance.
Well, no. So what I did is I needed to stop at the bottom rest, go a few more times,
Okay.
and then I got it.
What
Yeah.
you gotta do is hook up some reverse bands to help pull it off you as you hit the bottom.
That's a good point.
Because then you could still post a video and say, I'm 220 pounds with 585 plus 80 pounds of chains, but minus 300 pounds of band tension.
Well, I think the problem too is I didn't see the hashtag beast mode anywhere on that
Right.
video.
There was so that was
And I
before
think-
hashtags.
I think that's where you really struggled.
That's what I should. Well, and I could have cut the video maybe. Like if I Instagram edited it,
Oh,
you would have
yeah.
never known I missed it.
Right.
right,
Yeah.
there you go.
We didn't
good
have
call.
that technology.
And you could have
back
just
in
done
the
it
day.
like if you had edited just the top part of it, it would have just
Yeah, it
looked
would have
like
been
you'd
like,
gone
oh
to death
man.
anyway.
I could have put it in black and white. It would have looked like an animal video, and I would have been sponsored.
And then you could just
Alright.
put the hashtag dadbond.
Jared, how do we get a hold of you?
Why do I go first this time?
Well, because you gotta spell all this shit and it's so stupid.
You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at JeronKerridge. Facebook under my name, online at www.savagegym.com. I feel like the Shane Girl
Jeff?
guy.
I was just gonna say Shinko.
You can find us on.
So
At least you're not
basically,
a dude with a pink skateboard.
Oh,
hey, you want to be in a video?
That just got weird.
Yeah.
So for me,
How old are
it's
you?
just you can go ahead and find me on Twitter and on the Instagram
Randallcock?
at Ragnavok, Ragnavok. The whole Facebook thing is my name, Jeff Pearson. You can go ahead and find me there. You can send me an email at ragnavok@gmail.com. Tell me how cool you think I am and what you think of me. That's cool.
Then he'll drag race you in his blue WRX.
You find me,
With my
you
white
find me at
sunglasses.
Alpha Project on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and then also subscribe to my YouTube page under Adrian Larson, and make sure you check out ChalkTalk 503. Check out-
Instagram
You
and
forgot
on
that-
Twitter.
You forgot that it was Alpha_Project.
Yeah, whatever.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah. Check out the website, www.alphaprojecttraining.org.
You can find me on Twitter at jlarson2498. I'll be the one behind the giant python.
I'm waiting for that dick slap.
On Instagram at Larson2498. Make sure you guys go to our website, www.chalktalk.tv, where you can hear the podcast, or even better, go on iTunes, subscribe, leave a comment, rate us, let us know what you guys think. I think that's the end of the episode today. We'll catch you guys
His
next
new
week.
nickname is J-Lo.
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 I really
J-Lo.
don't like this
You
one.
should go ahead and just
Hey, you
change
know what?
all
Suck
of your
it.
Instagram.
Suck it.